Welcome back to the channel, Adventures Through Climate Change, with your host, Trevor. That's me. Yes, I'm the only one that's ever on this, and I hope you guys don't get tired of that. In the future, maybe there'll be somebody that's better looking and smarter than me. I'm just a realtor. I did get my bachelor's in biology, and I got a bachelor's in health science. That doesn't make me an expert in anything, but it does mean that I jumped through some hoops. Right? And I like to learn stuff. I feel like life is just about learning things and adapting. I mean, when I was in, I can't remember which biology class, but it was a medical one. And they were saying that they teach their students in med school that 50% of what they know or are learning today will be obsolete within the next 5 years. 50% of all medical, science that we know today will be obsolete in less than 5 years. And 5 years is the longest. So, I mean, it's like, so what is that in 10 years? 100% of what we know is gone. I don't think that's how that works. But it is going to be a higher percentage than 50%. It's just crazy. So, with that being said, this channel is to talk about climate and science and stuff, but we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on with climate change and if we should really be concerned. We watched a ton of videos in the past. We'll watch a ton of videos in the future. If you want to know more, go check out those other videos, man. There's a crap ton. This is from Deciphering Weather. It was sent to me by Wesley, one of you guys. I went ahead and liked it and subscribed, even though I don't really know what it's about. I guess it's about, will 2023 to 2024 be the warmest years on record due to a forecasted super El Nino. And because we've had so many La Ninas in a row, right? Now they're expecting El Nino, and so it'll be super hot, right? Wait, or are we supposed to go into a La Nina? I can't remember anymore. We just watched something on Monday. Gosh, what's up with me?
Hello everyone and welcome back to Deciphering Weather. In today's video, we're going to discuss if a forecasted super El Nino will bring on global record temperatures for 2023 or 2024. If you like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos.
You heard the brother?
So 2023 has started off on a record-setting pace so far this year across North America. The winter months were well above average for the eastern half of the country, as well as into Canada as well. And it's not just in North America, but in Europe as well. They've seen their warmest winter on record so far. And if you look at the globe, it's
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt already. It's just surprising because everybody up north has been complaining about how cold it is and all the snow that they've been getting. So I don't know. Okay.
It's not just North America or Europe, but you can also see in Siberia and China, as well as in Brazil, some of the warmest seasons to start in 2023. And that's continued into the spring, as we've seen an early summer across much of the eastern half of the country. So the question is, are we going to set a new record this year or in 2024? The 10 hottest years so far on record have come since we've had our last El Nino in 2016 and also statistically tied in 2020 as well, even though we saw a La Nina year that year. Now, everyone knows we've seen global temperatures increasing since the start of the Industrial Revolution. This is not rocket science. We've known this problem for a while now. It's due to our increased global use of carbon fuels, adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. But it's not an even climb. We see these fluctuations go up and down.
Okay, which is following which? And we've been watching a lot of videos on this. Is CO2 the cause or the correlation? Is it the cause of the heat, or is the heat the cause of the CO2? Obviously, the heat's not the cause of the CO2, but it's a greenhouse. But to what varying degree? It's like we keep watching videos on this, and somebody will say something, and then boom, next video will be contradicted. Then we'll talk about this, and I just don't know that the science is settled on that.
Down.
Go on.
Because we have things that perturb the global average. And one of them is the ENSO. Is it El Nino or if it's La Nina? And that's because most of our world is covered in water. We have around 70% of the globe is covered by our oceans. But in the northern hemisphere, we are seeing higher temperature increases on average because that's where most of our landmass is. And you can see that distinction here. Northern hemisphere has more land, southern hemisphere has more water. So the El Nino, La Nina switching plays a big role in heating up and cooling down our planet. So you can see here on a graph of our global average temperatures, as we've seen global temperatures increase, we've seen them spike during very strong El Nino years. Back in 1997 was one. Also in 2016 was another time we spiked. And if we look at our global average temperatures, you can see since 1970 this jagged line going up and down, but overall trend increasing as we've seen climate change occur, thanks to human-induced fossil fuel use. But if you remove the El Nino and La Nina, you can see how the global cooling effect really is subtracted away thanks to La Nina. And that is our air conditioning unit that we would normally see. And you can see that here on a global temperature average from 2020, where we had La Nina in place, even though this is one of our warmest years on record, tying pretty much an El Nino year in 2016. So a lot of climate deniers would say, oh, well, how could we be in global warming if the last 8 years we've been decreasing in temperature? And it's because of this dynamic intercoupling link between the oceans and the atmosphere. So if you look at this graph here, you can see that every time we've seen one of these El Nino or super El Nino events occur, that sets the new precedent. And then when we go into La Nina, we go into this cooling trend. And on average, because El Nino and La Nina switch every 2 to 7 years, you can see how this will increase, then decrease, increase again with the next El Nino, then decrease during the next La Nina phase, and so forth. So if we go back into the record, you can see that going back to the 70s, we saw super El Ninos in 72, 73, 82, 83, 97, 98, 2015, 2016. And every time we've seen one of these super El Nino events, we've seen record temperature years get set, only to be the next few years after that a global cooling, but just very slightly, because La Nina then returns, cooling down the ocean and the planet. And that is the global air condition, you can say. So right now we are in an El Nino watch, according to the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, as well as NOAA in the United States. And both the European and the American models are forecasting a moderately or strong El Nino to occur this coming fall into the winter of 2023-2024.
Make sure you have a pool.
And you can also see that here with our global models as well. Most of the models in April right now are projecting at least a moderate El Nino to occur, with a smaller chance of a super El Nino, or 2 degrees Celsius above the long-term average of occurring.
There's a few of them that are below.
But even if we don't see a super El Nino occur, we have a greater than 80% chance right now of seeing El Nino occur later on this year as we go into the fall and into the winter of 2023-2024. So the question will be, with El Nino coming into forecast and predictably going to be true, how warm will the planet get? And you can see here, as we get towards an El Nino season, we see the global sea surface temperatures increase, but also the atmosphere will increase as well, because we lose that cooling effect from La Nina. So the question will be, will this be a record-setting year like we saw in 1997, in 2016?
That is the question.
Will 2023 or 2024 be the new global record before we see the next cooling trend for the next couple of years, before we see the next El Nino occur after that? We'll have to wait and see if this holds true. As a reminder, we have super thanks available on Deciphering Weather. So if you'd like to donate to the channel, please go down to the heart button where it says thanks.
What you do, Deciphering
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Please share this video with your family and friends on social media. And if you're new and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all of my upcoming videos. Thank you and have a great day.
I mean, the guy's getting 26,000 views for 2 weeks ago. Pretty good. Pretty good. Must be worthwhile. Let's get back on my face. Really not much to say. I mean, I don't really consider myself a climate denier as much as I feel like we have to weigh what we do. Like, we just can't demonize certain things. I feel like, yeah, so fossil fuels, they're the end of the world. However, it's the only reason some people are still alive right now is staying warm and whatnot. I can't demonize them for doing what they need to do to stay alive. I mean, honestly, it's just I'm a humanitarian. That's what I do. So those are the questions I have. And look, there has been a lot, and we will watch more videos on CO2 correlation with heat. And it's always interesting because as we're sitting now, the ones we saw in the video from like last week or the week before, or whatever, the model showed that the CO2 rise has been following the temperature rise. The temperature rise was already going up. What we're doing is possibly just saving ourselves from an ice age, is from what that video showed. And the reason being is because we were on dangerously low CO2 before, dangerously low. And now we're back up to where all plant life is happy, right? So I don't know, right? But that's why we're watching these videos. That's why we're taking this armchair approach. So please comment, subscribe, like, whatever. And I hope to catch you in the next video.